In this new and indie spotlight episode of Fictional Hangover, we chat with Elisa A. Bonnin, whose newest book, Lovely, Dark, and Deep, comes out March 25th. Hey, everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult, and sometimes other books, series, authors, voice actors, and illustrators that is full of spoilers. Ooh, not this time, though. Hi, I'm Amanda.
No spoilers.
No
No
spoilers. No
spoilers.
spoilers this time.
It's because you're used to being spoilery.
I know.
And I'm Claire, and today we're joined by Elisa A. Bonnin, whose newest book, Lovely, Dark, and Deep, comes out on March 25th. And you know what? We're bloody excited for it.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So, hi, welcome. Hi.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. So to be
Thanks for
clear, no
being here.
spoilers?
The
Unless
spoilers
you
are on
do it.
your head. They're on, we,
Okay.
we can't, we specifically do not read New and
Oh,
Indie Spotlight, so we can't
we're so
spoil
we're
because we're
so bad
so
about we're
bad.
so bad about spoiling stuff. So,
The first time was like torture because we knew stuff.
yes,
Oh
it was.
no. Okay.
So we had to make
Yeah.
a blanket decision not to read them anymore for New and Indie Spotlights. But we
Yeah.
can after we've read done
That's true.
it.
That's true. We have shared your other books though in our we have a new and indie spotlight like little segment at the end of our regular episodes, and we've shared your other books there. So now we get to talk to you in real life about your latest book, and we're
Yay.
super excited about it.
I'm really excited to be here. So,
Good,
So
good,
tell
good.
us everything that you want to tell us about your book. Maybe or maybe not being spoilery, up to you. But what do you want everybody to know about Lovely, Dark, and Deep?
hey, so Lovely, Dark, and Deep is a magic school story, and it's a bit of a departure from my other books. So if you've read my first two books, Dauntless and Stolen City, those are fantasy books set in a fantasy world. Lovely, Dark, and Deep is set in our world. So I actually had to think about how real things work and how the real world functions for this book. It's set in a magic school that's hidden off the coast of Washington State. So it's in the San Juan Islands. The main character, her name is Faith. And for those of you seeing this in video, got a picture of her right here.
Nice.
She's
Nice.
also in the front of the book. She is a Filipino American immigrant, and she's heading back to magic school for her senior year, just trying to keep her head down and graduate, kind of fighting off this stigma of having killed her best friend in the year before. I think all of this is back of the book, so none of these are spoilers. Um, she uh, she and her best friend did something that ended in the best friend being missing, presumed dead. And so she's just trying to keep her head down. But it seems like the things that they did the year before are coming back to literally haunt her. And to graduate, she's going to have to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Oh, I love
I mean, the last year of school's hard enough, never mind having to solve mysteries of a paranormal nature.
Right.
I loved literal haunting, like, oh my God. Oh, okay. Yep. Sold even more. I love it.
I love spooks. Spooks, spooks, spooks.
Yes.
Yeah, this is also a little creepier than my other books. So I hope that you guys
Nice.
enjoy it.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
yes. Scary stuff. Mwah. That speaks to our souls. If we have one, which I don't. But you know what?
Excuse you.
Well, then what are you scared of?
Excuse you. We decided it was we have half glittery souls, half black souls.
That's
Thank you.
true. That's
Thank
right.
you.
That's right. You're right. You're right. Ah, man. Okay. So we read about you on the internet, as we are wont to do, and we learned that you are an actual, like, real scientist, which is
Capital S
amazing. Yes,
scientist.
capital S scientist, but you're also an author. So how do you incorporate your science background into your magical worlds?
In this book, okay. Hmm. Couple of things. First thing is that I do have a PhD in oceanography. I
That's so
did do a
cool.
lot of work in science. I have been out of active research for the past couple of years. So I've actually been, right now, I work as a science writer and I'm helping basically what I'm doing is I'm helping PhD students and postdocs write papers, um, which means I get to learn about cool scientific stuff, but I'm not doing any actual research now. That said, I did do research in the past for many years. Um, and I have incorporated it in some of my books. So Dauntless, which was my debut novel, is set in a world um, that has an enormous forest instead of sort of like, okay, I'm an oceanographer. Dauntless's world doesn't have an ocean, but I incorporated the same sense of wanting to go out into the unknown, wanting to explore um, these great depths, wanting to find new things. This sort of feelings that drove me into science as a career were incorporated into Dauntless. And Lovely, Dark, and Deep is set in the San Juan Islands because I was a oceanography student at the University of Washington, and that department has a lab in Friday Harbor, which is the main town in the San Juans. And we would go out there once a year, usually in January when it was cold and rainy and really misty, for a retreat that was basically all the graduate students getting together, having these like mock presentations, drinking, and just having a good time. So I would go out there, I'd spend the weekend out there every year. And inevitably, during free time, I'd be walking around thinking about things and thinking, this would be such a cool setting for a story. So when I needed to find a place to hide a magic school in the real world, that's where I decided to set the books. And that's sort of a long answer. There's no actual science in it, but if I hadn't gone to grad school, if I hadn't been in that program and gone up to those labs at least once a year, I probably wouldn't have written this book the way I wrote it. So it's very much like a book that's born out of me being in grad school.
See, that's
That's
the
really cool because I
science.
mean, one of our
Yeah.
other exactly, but one of our other questions is how similar is Faith's life to yourself? Because again, during our not
Mhm.
stalking, we saw on the internet that you travel a lot. You've been from the Philippines to the United States to Germany, and before we even started, you said you've been to different places and your name gets pronounced half a dozen different ways. And one of our questions is, how similar Faith's life is to your own. So, apart from setting it in a place where you've been and seeing that kind of magical nature itself, is there anything else that you've been able to draw from your own life experiences to put into it?
Yeah, a lot. So Faith just so this is a spoiler. Not really. It's in the first chapter of the book,
Oh, that's
which you
not
can read
spoilers.
for free on my publisher's website. Okay. Faith um, was born in the Philippines and moved to the States at the age of 9. Uh, she moved basically because her parents had a job, so she sort of permanently immigrated from the Philippines to the United States. And this is not that dissimilar to my background. There are some key differences, which I'll get into later on. But I moved at 16, so I was quite a bit older than Faith. Um, and my stay was always meant to be temporary, even though I stretched temporary out to 12 years. Um, yeah, grad school takes a long time, but I felt some of the same emotions that Faith feels about home and leaving home and it not being entirely her choice because when I moved at 16, I moved because my mom thought it would be the best thing for me. Growing up, we were always told that moving to America was the thing that you wanted to do and it was the best thing you could do for your future. And so my mom worked really hard to get a job that would temporarily move her to the States and would give me the opportunity to go to university there. And I didn't want to move. I wanted to stay home. I was very happy. I had a life there. I had friends. I sort of had this idea of how I wanted my future to go, and I felt like my mom was pulling me out of all of that, and I felt like this is so unfair. I was kicking and screaming and pitching fits and fighting the entire way. Um, and a lot of that in the end, the life that I live now, I would not be able to live if I hadn't moved. But also, it wasn't the perfect utopia that had been sold to me either, moving to the States. And a lot of that feelings and a lot of the pain that I felt and the conflict, because knowing that my life was better now and that, in some ways my mom was right and that things were good, but also I missed all the things that I had lost. I really struggled socially. Um, I had a bit of an identity crisis for a few years because I, those of you who are looking at me on video and those of you who have seen my author photo know that I don't really look Filipino. I'm part Spanish. And growing up in the Philippines, it was easy to say, hey, I'm half Spanish and I look white, but I'm totally Filipino. I mean, I've never been anywhere else and I'm here. And somehow going to the States and looking, passing for white American and having this different cultural background, there were all kinds of weird identity crises things going on in my head. Not all of that made it into Faith. So Faith is not part Spanish. So she definitely appears to be an immigrant. And so, like, that identity crisis bit didn't quite translate into her, but this feeling of loss and conflict and making a new life for yourself and redefining yourself in your new life, a lot of that is basically one for one what I felt moving over. I want to be very clear, though, in case any of my family is listening to this, Faith's family is a lot more toxic than you guys. So that,
It's
um,
YA fiction. We
yeah,
Right.
completely expect,
Yes.
the YA fiction does not have good families.
No.
yeah.
There's no such thing as
So,
perfect parentage in YA fiction.
right. That's, yeah. I mean, that's a kind of a long answer, but
No,
there's a
that was
lot of,
really interesting. It was really interesting, and the fact that you're putting Faith, like the book's what 400 pages long, so she's going to a magical school. She's learning a new culture and a new language. She's trying to adapt and find her own self-identity. Her best friend was quote unquote murdered, and she's being haunted by some weird, freaky things in forests. Damn! And it's senior year.
she's having a really tough
I
time.
really, I really appreciate it when authors go, you know what? It's going to be a tough one, love. Buckle in.
So she did move several years before the story started. So she feels like she's settled. She's not really settled. Things happen in this
I think
book.
it could take a while. It seems like it's taking a while for Faith to really feel settled because
Yeah.
she's going through a lot of upheaval, and 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 she's a teenage girl. Those
Yes.
hormones will be
Oh,
rampant. Oh my
just
God.
everything keeps piling on.
Oh, I do not envy Faith one bit.
It's not the best year for life. Let's just say that.
This is when, as an adult, you turn around and go, "Oh, but your school years are the best years of your life." And she's like, "Excuse me, have you
No.
seen what I've just been doing?"
No.
There's actually
No.
a chapter, minor spoiler, there's a chapter called The Best Years of Our Lives. And it deals with this concept.
Ugh,
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing,
that's
amazing.
amazing.
I hope you laughed all the way through, going,
Yeah, I know. I mean,
"Ah." Oh, that's hilarious. I love
I'm
it.
I'm one of the weirdos. I'm probably the only weirdo out here who actually liked high school, but that was in a different country, and that was because I had my weirdo friends.
I had
That
weirdo friends in high school too. I would never ever choose to go back, but it wasn't that bad.
I
It
would
wasn't
never
that
go back
bad.
to secondary school. The last 2 years were fine. The last 2 years were tolerable because that's when the bullying finally stopped. But I wouldn't go back to school, but I'd have the friends again for those 2 years.
See, I would never go back to primary school because that's where I was bullied, and then I got
Oh,
moved to a different high school where I was like, okay, new person, new me. Yeah.
primary school officially sucked
Oh my God.
ass.
Yes.
So bad. The amount of break times I would spend inside the school because it was where the bullies weren't. I would just help the
Hmm.
teachers out, and then you get you get if you experience it well, you get the reputation of being a teacher's pet.
Yes.
It's like, no, I'm just avoiding you. because
Yeah.
you suck, and then you have the teacher that also sucks. And you're just like, oh,
I
just get me
have
to secondary
this
school.
vivid memory of eating lunch under a table in an empty classroom, and then my teacher came and was like, "You cannot be in here right now." And I said, "Don't put me back out there." Like, yeah,
Kids are feral. Kids are
They
yeah,
honestly
are.
feral.
They are. I got my bullying in middle school, so in between both of yours. So we're
yeah.
hitting all of those awkward ages.
All the notes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was, 12.
In fairness, my country didn't have middle school at the time,
Ah, okay.
so
Okay.
we just skipped all that.
Yeah. Ugh. That was when mine
Oh.
was though.
Mhm.
How about we just like don't have the school element, we just have the friends?
Yes.
That
And
would
we
be
just go
nice.
and gather with them in a
Yeah.
separate location. But we could have you guys probably won't this won't affect you at all, but you could have the rectangle pizza. Rectangle pizza was a big deal in the United
I
States.
had rectangle pizza
Uh,
because my mom was a teacher in the
Perfect.
US. And there was one year where I basically just helped her out in her classroom for a while
Mhm.
and had I'm familiar with the rectangle
Okay, good.
pizza.
rectangle pizza is a universal
Okay.
because it
Yeah.
was
Okay.
easier to have a big tray of pizza and they just used to cut it. And I didn't really do school lunches weren't mandatory when I was at school. And I would take pack lunches rather than have the school lunches. But the odd occasion I did, and I did have school rectangle pizza. I hated the end bits; it was too crusty, too much crust. Not a fan. We used to have mashed potato that was always done in an ice cream scoop.
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah, and now and again they would do green custard because they thought, it's fun, it's funky. You're like, it's not.
why green?
I think it's the only food coloring that
Okay.
they had. Genuinely, they were just like, when they think that oh we're being fun, and it's like, just give us me custard, thanks.
Oh, that's amazing.
Uh,
This pushes us really easily into our standout moments from school because this is set at a dark and magical boarding school, which you probably did not attend either a dark or a magical school, but school life, I feel like, is pretty universal no matter what. So, what are some
Yes.
other standout moments you've had from school?
In my high school, oh gosh, I went to high school in the Philippines. So my high school experience probably looked very different from an American high school experience. My sister did finish high school in the States, so I saw a little bit of her life. And what I remember from my high school was we were at school so much longer. So we were there from 7:30 to 4:30.
Oh, wow.
oh,
Um, yeah, we
oh,
wore uniforms,
yeah,
which our our
we do in the
our
UK.
uniforms were like designed by German nuns when they came to the
What?
Philippines in
What?
well, yeah, because it was a Catholic school, right? But the Philippines
Ah,
has a very different climate from Germany. And the only concession they made to the climate way back in, I don't know when they founded this place, way back in the day, was to chop off the sleeves so that the sleeves were short sleeved instead of long sleeved. But we were still wearing these like heavy skirt, lederhosen looking things. And yeah,
it's just
anyway, so that's
weird.
what I remember was everything was hot. Um, and we were at school for a really long time, but I had really good friends. And high school was when I made friends for the first. This is really, really sad. High school is when I made friends for the first time. Elementary, primary school, I didn't really. I was kind of the weird loner kid who didn't really have any friends. And so that for me really made the experience because I mean I had my friends who I could pass notes with and deal with all of the usual crap with um, and I actually genuinely did enjoy my high school life because of that. And I wanted to just bring that a little bit of that into the book. So Faith has a found family in this book. So she meets these friends, and they really improve her mood and her feelings about this place.
I hard relate to your
Mm-hmm.
experience, except the German-nun-designed school uniform. I'm in the UK, so we have always had school uniforms. My childhood trauma is that my school uniform was maroon, and it was everybody else's was black in the city, so you could always identify the school that I went to. It's a ghastly, and it's been since been changed. But found family is also one of our favourite tropes on
Oh,
Fictional Hangover.
definitely.
So the fact that there's magic and it's a magical school and there's something creepy going on and murder and found family, it just speaks to
Yes, it
Yep.
checks all of our
us.
boxes.
Ghosts, ragtag bunch of misfits,
Yes.
hidden secrets, and
Oh,
yeah,
oh, it just keeps getting
Tick,
better.
tick,
the school actually
tick.
being evil, which is something that maybe
I
when
love an evil
yeah.
school.
I'm so excited.
Can I also give a shout out as well to the cover art?
It's
It was
so
what the cover
good.
illustration
Oh,
S
thank you.
Red and Paro. I
Yeah,
was looking at that. I followed the link that you posted on the on your website, which
it's
is
website.
eabornin.com. So
Yes.
everybody check that out. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, when I first saw the so they sent me like a sketch of the cover, and when I first saw it, I screamed. It was
Yeah,
really it, I'm not a visual person. So I write books, and I just can't imagine how anybody will read this and imagine the characters. I get super excited when I see cover art because it's like, oh my gosh, they've taken what was in my head and put it on this page, and it looks incredible. And I've been really lucky in the cover art department. So my first two books have amazing covers.
Mhm.
And when I first saw them, I was super excited. But when I saw this one, I mean, that's the character as I imagined her in my head. It just looks so cool. Yeah.
the artwork on their website as well. Just I'm going to point out a couple of stuff that they've done because I know some of our listeners will be very interested. There's some Pokemon. There's a Pokemon trainer with a little Eevee on the shoulder. There's a fantastic uh, superhero ones. Mystique is just gorgeous.
Oh,
The
yes.
Spawn design is fantastic. And there's some very nice vampires, because all vampires all the time, and fair designs. So I do know that some of our super fans and listeners will very much want to check out that author, the illustrator's website as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can
Especially
imagine opening that box and screaming. I would
Yeah.
be so happy.
It's scream worthy for sure. It's
especially if
gorgeous.
you're into somewhat creepy art, I would recommend checking out
Mm.
Red's work because honestly, when I first heard that Red would be doing the cover, I went to the website and I looked around and I was like, oh, I wrote back quickly. I was like, I noticed, so Red uses a lot of red
Mm.
accents in their work. And when I wrote back quickly and I said, okay, well, you've got to have the red stripe because that's sort of the mark of shame. The Faith is in this disciplinary class, so they have this red stripe on their uniforms. I was like, you have to have that stand out and you have to have the fire stand out. And the cover really delivers.
Cover is
Yeah.
gorgeous. Oh, okay. Stop looking. Stop looking it
Stop,
up.
stop
Stop
looking.
I
Yes,
know
looking
I'm
at
look
our
looking
over
at it
document.
too. So
Stop.
before
Stop looking at it. It's so cool.
I'm still waiting for my author copies, or I would be waving them around
Oh,
Ah,
like I usually do.
oh.
that's so.
When you open the box, you are going to scream.
Yeah.
And
I know.
rightly so, rightly so.
I need to
Oh,
film the moment.
you do. You really do. And then
You
we'll
do.
share it. So, on the cover, just talking about that, she's doing magic, and it looks like it's red. Can you see the magic, or is this just beautiful, beautiful artwork?
So Faith's magic is elemental magic. She controls fire. Which you can
Ah,
see in this art of
yes,
her.
yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
And I think that's the least spoilery thing I can say about it. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
So standard fire magic.
okay.
Basically everything you can think of when you
But
think of somebody
that
who
implies
controls
that
fire.
so that implies though that there are other elemental magics as well.
Yes. And none of these are spoilers because they're all viewable on my Instagram,
Okay.
um, which is elisa.a.bonnin. Bonnin has three N's. Google it before so you can find out where all those N's go because it confuses lots of people. Um, but there are other types of magic. So there's three main branches of magic in this world. There's naturalists, and those use magic that is tied to the natural world in some form. So if you've got your fire, your lightning, your air, earth, water, etc. You have artificers who work with a material.
Ooh.
So wood,
Uh-huh.
metal, glass, anything that you can conceivably say, I can build something out of it. Artificers work with that. And then luminaries, and that's your mental magic.
That's
So
so cool.
um, reading emotions, manipulating emotions, like reading minds, having visions of the past, visions of the future, all kinds of things like that would be considered a luminary.
Oh,
Mm.
which power would you have?
You know, it changes every day. Um, so I have a 12-week-old, and right now I would love to be able to stop time and sleep, and then we'll, start time again. But I would also, I keep coming back to elemental magic. I think I'd love to control water. That would be really
Mm.
cool. Yeah.
Now I'm
That's
looking at
cool.
all of these characters, and this one, it looks like one can stop time, right? Because she's surrounded by a clock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yvonne, sorry, I've got her character card right here.
ooh, yes.
Um, and yes,
Ugh,
this might be mildly spoilery. The full extent of her magic. Let's just say it is time related
okay,
and leave it at that.
okay. And
Have you
this
seen the
is
gorgeous copy of the sprayed edge version, Amanda? I'm looking at
no, but I
the red
like.
ribbon goes down the side.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So this is part of a pre-order campaign. These really awesome
The
cards.
the cards are part of a pre-order campaign. So if you've pre-ordered it, no matter where you've pre-ordered it, you can go to my Instagram, find the link in my bio, and sign up. And I will mail you these. I will physically put these in an envelope and mail them to your house. Um, if you sign up before the end of March, before the release date, which is the 25th of March. There is also a bookseller who has made some sprayed edges,
Ooh,
um,
we need
which
that.
you can also find on my Instagram. And if you pre-order it there, I believe you will also get the pre-order campaign things. I should, I hope so, because I am sending an enormous box of pre-order campaign things to her. So if you want the sprayed edges version, you can also find that on my Instagram.
Yep,
Very, very pretty.
yep. Oh, it's so exciting.
I'm getting lost in buying books here again. Come back, Claire, come back.
I know. Stop looking at it. Stop looking at it.
My New Year's resolution is to clear out some of my backlog, and it's just so hard to not buy books. Yeah.
Oh, I'm the worst, and I live with an enabler as well. He keeps sending me links, and I'm like, "Ooh, pretty." Bye.
Yeah, I
See,
live
look,
with
I'm
a
lucky because I am a librarian with a library that I buy books for. So I buy them for my house, I buy them for the library. They're just all over the place.
yeah, that's
The
awesome. You can
library's
even
just an
call it
extension of your bookshelf.
It is. It really is.
and you can call it work buying
Yeah,
books. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't
I'm
deal with you right now. I'm reading for
I'm
my
sorry.
job.
Yes.
I'm on maternity leave now, and sometimes I'm out on an errand and I'll be like, "Oh, I'll just stop by this bookstore." I don't know when I'll read the books, but I keep going in there and like picking things off the shelves, and yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
From the
bad.
voice of experience, it does
Mhm.
come back. So there was, I think I shared my Goodreads with Amanda when we first started doing, when I first joined Fictional Hangover, and my little one was like 3 or 4 at the time, and it was a slump. Like if I read
Ah,
10 books in a year, it was a freaking miracle. And now I'm up to about 120 a year. So
okay,
it
so it is
does
going to come
come
back.
back. It does.
I
But
am reading more now that I'm on leave still, but I know when I go back to my full-time job and I still have to be a parent, it's going to crash again.
audiobooks.
Mm. Mm.
Audiobooks are incredible. Okay, I don't want this to become like Baby Talk, the podcast, but he walking around, sometimes he just wants me to walk around holding him. And being able to do that while listening to an audiobook has saved my sanity. So,
I
audiobooks, yay.
Audiobooks, we love
Audiobooks are the
them.
best.
We
We
love
are
them.
a
Mhm.
massive proponent for advocate for audiobooks. So what
Yes,
you're
we are.
listening to or what you actually physically able to read right now, tell us what's in your ears or your eyes.
I'm currently working through my backlog of Illumicrate books from last year that I told myself I was going to read, and they end up sitting on the shelf. So I'm currently reading Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan. And that's a book about this city that's sort of based in South Asia, Southeast Asia. Um, and this is a city that's half submerged. So half of it is underwater and half
Ooh.
of it's above water. And it's inhabited by humans, regular old humans, and fathom folk. So basically, all of your mythical water creatures, mermaids, sirens, kelpies, sea witches, dragons, all of these things, and they are in conflict with each other, and it's been a lot of fun.
Sounds very good.
Oh, I
Okay.
think we knew a few people who'd be interested in that one.
Yes,
Calling Bree to the
definitely.
conversation.
Yes, definitely.
I
Definitely.
love basically all books about the ocean, water, all kinds of those things. So this one really grabbed me from the start. And ah, last year I was just so tired being pregnant and all that that I just didn't read it much. But anyway,
It's
It's
fine.
fair. Don't
yeah.
don't kick yourself over that.
No,
Give
never.
yourself that grace.
I
Yes.
know
And
I
just know
grew a
that
whole
you
human is what I'm telling myself.
Yeah,
well
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And everybody needs an emotional support TBR pile. You
Right.
have had that fortuitous chance of making it big. Uh,
Yep.
so then you've got a bigger emotional security blanket in your TBR
Yes.
pile to
Yes.
give
Absolutely.
you the
It's
comfort that you
exciting now when I go to the shelf and say, what of these books haven't I read yet? And what am I going to read now?
exactly. You've got variety to pick from
Hmm.
Yes.
rather than just one or
Yes.
two. You have a whole variety to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
you're in a very lucky situation.
I'm very pleased with my books right now.
Good, good.
Okay, so in every episode of Fictional Hangover, we play Would You Rather based on the book. So later, after this book comes out and we give everyone a chance to read it, and then when we force you to come back and talk about it in all its spoilery detail, you'll get 5 questions of Would You Rather based on the book. But this time, you only get one question,
Hmm.
and it's based just on the summary. Claire, ask our Would You Rather question.
Okay. Oh, I need to get dramatic for this.
You do.
Oh no! You've
Oh,
become an outcast at your magical school, but evil lurks outside. Would you rather band together with other outcasts and fight the evil, or keep your head down, graduate, and get out of there?
Assuming I have magical powers,
Yes.
I think
mm-hmm.
we're going to go fight some evil.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to say that's my answer, but knowing the scaredy cat I actually was in high school, it would probably be keeping my head down until I inevitably get roped into the plot. Um, I wonder how many times you can refuse the call before the call to adventure hits you over the head and takes you. Yeah.
That sounds
That's a
about
good
right.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got an image of you for fighting all this evil, defeating all this evil. It's graduation day. You do the walk, you get given your diploma, and then you just keep going and just take the cap off your hand, off your head, and then drop it like you've dropped the mic style, and just
Mm-hmm.
keep walking. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I've saved the world. I've saved you guys. I don't
Right.
need
Like
you anymore.
explosions in the background,
Of
and you just
course,
keep
Yes.
walking.
Yes,
heads
definitely.
flying,
Mhm.
monsters everywhere,
Uh-huh.
the explosions, boom, boom, boom. But you've saved the world.
This is,
Yeah.
when I was there's a feeling I have now that I never had when I was a kid, the age of my YA characters. And when you're watching a long-running series and at some point the hero always gets really tired of things going wrong and being like, "Oh my God, when am I finally going to get a break?"
Yes.
I understand that. And now I start feeling bad for the hero. I'm always like, yeah, when are they getting a break? Because this is ridiculous. The world's always going to pieces on their watch. Yeah,
One day we will get the hero who turns around and goes, I'm having a nap first. I
I
Yeah,
think that's
need
totally.
cozy fantasy, right?
a
Isn't it?
nap. I need
Yeah,
Yes.
a nap. I need a cup of tea. I need some biscuits. Then I'll tackle it. It can wait till morning,
right.
quite frankly.
Yeah.
Surely
Oh,
someone else can sort this out by now.
yeah, just for a few minutes. Come on.
I need an adult. You are the adult.
Oh God, when that
Oh,
happens. Yeah.
oh, uh. Claire, are you going to
Oh.
answer this would you rather question?
Um, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna fight evil. I'm gonna conquer evil, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna mic drop with my graduation cap as I
Yes.
walk out and the explosions in
Okay.
the background.
Yeah.
I want that drama.
Yeah. I
What
think
about you?
yeah, I think I have to do that as well. Especially like not to get political or anything, but right now we got to band together. We got to band
Oh,
together
hells
and we
yeah.
got to fight.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's what I'm doing.
We're not a political podcast, but we are political.
Yes, and we rant about things sometimes, but we're not doing that right now. But we are going to band together and fight evil.
I
Yes.
think it's like I don't want to get on a political high horse because I never wanted to be political until politics started coming for basically everything that I care about and everything I do. But
Yes.
anyway, yeah, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And books are political,
They
Yeah,
are. Yep.
but everybody knows that Fictional Hangover is a safe space, and we will
Yes. We will
fight
take care
for
of you.
as much as we can.
Yes. Ooh.
yes. So I don't want to get into what sort of stances are being taken in this book because I feel like that would be spoilery.
Okay.
But you could read some of the reviews that have already come out, which are on my Instagram, and see if that's the book for you. But I'm guessing if you're listening to this podcast, we're probably on the same page.
So,
Well, I'm going to read what's on Goodreads and the
Mhm.
genre categories that it's in, and you make that decision whether or not you think it's for you.
Yeah.
And I will tell you right now, for Fictional Hangover listeners have got the
yes.
head screwed on and it'll say yes. It's a
Yes.
fantasy, it's young adult, it's LGBT, lesbian, contemporary queer urban fantasy,
Yeah.
horror, magic, young adult fantasy.
Yes.
That's what it says on
Yep.
Goodreads.
That is everything we believe in
I'm
and
just I'm
love.
just reading Goodreads. I'm
We're
not
ready
being
for it.
political.
Mhm.
Oh, we're very, very excited for it to come out. And we're all pre-ordering right now. Everyone listening should pre-order this. You get very fantastic treasures. I hope that you watched this so you could see Eliza
Right.
holding up all these really cool things.
I think if you have pre-ordered this, please sign up because I can't actually get you the cards unless you self-identify and sign up on my pre-order campaign. I don't have access to, if you just pre-order it in the ether, I have no idea who you are. So if you want things, please sign up for them before the book releases. And you can find the link on my Instagram bio. You can find the link on my website. It's my link tree. It's in
And
the
we'll
in
be
the
we'll be tagging you in
scary
we'll be tagging
stealth.
you in the episode so
Yeah,
everybody can go and click on Elisa's tag and access all the links, get all the pre-order details,
perfect.
and sign up that way as
Right,
well.
I was gonna say I'm not on the place that used to be Twitter anymore, but my profile still is, and I think it's still
Oh,
on there.
same
So if
Yeah,
girl,
you,
same,
same.
yeah,
same,
Mhm.
same. Okay, well that's that's all of our non-spoilery questions. So like what do you want everyone to take away from this book? And then tell us anything else that you're excited about. And then the last thing you have to do, which you've already done, but you should do it again, is tell everyone where to find you on social media.
Okay. The first question was everything, what I want people to take away from this book.
Yes, yes.
Um, so when this is a YA novel. It's written primarily to teenagers, and I think that I didn't intend for this book to come out in such difficult times, but this is a book about somebody going through sort of the darkest part of her life and feeling really overwhelmed by it all, and then finding a community of like-minded people um, who sort of draw her out of the darkness. And even though the situation that she's in is still pretty crappy objectively, um, being in it with good friends and having a community and having people who are by her side and who are fighting with her and for her help her sort of see the light and not feel like everything's so dark. So I guess I would like my readers to come away with this feeling of hope. Like, yes, it's a crappy situation, but yes, we can band together and, all things will come to an end eventually. And we just have to get through it. And though it might be tough, there's light at the end of the tunnel. I intended for that to be way more metaphorical about the teen experience and fictional than it turned out to be, but I hope that it still applies.
We can't wait. We can't wait for it to come out. So, is there anything else that you're excited about that is not, it doesn't have to be book related. It could be anything that you're excited about right now in your life.
I have some things I can't talk about that I am really excited about.
Okay, yay!
Let's see. I'm just super excited to hold Lovely, Dark, and Deep in my hands. That's a safe thing to say. And I would like you guys to just keep an eye on this space. And maybe if you do drag me back in here after the book comes out, I will be able to talk about the other thing that I'm really, really, really excited about.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we will force you to come back. But, with love and
Yes,
kindness.
of course.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay.
I don't think anybody's kicked and screamed yet.
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's always that chance. Like, I don't want to go on Fictional Hangover again.
No, I'm sorry, but how many
stop it.
times have we spoke to an author and we've said you can say whatever you want, you can swear if you so desire,
Yes.
and you can be as spoilery as they want. You literally see their soul glowing, going, "Oh, I can
I can say anything.
Spoilers. I can tell you who the big bad is and how they're taking down." Like, yeah, we've covered it already.
Yeah, we've already done all that. So
I'm super excited for that.
Then you have to come back.
I will come back.
It's a done deal. You are coming back.
I will come back.
Legally binding verbal contract. There we go. And then you can tell us how many more books you've managed to read.
Yes.
And if I come back and tell you I'm still in the same one, don't judge me, guys.
We will still support you.
Yes. Exactly. We don't judge. We don't kink shame. It's fine. It's all good.
Yes.
Fully support you.
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of this new and indie spotlight episode of Fictional Hangover. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
Good. That's all we ever hope for.
I really want to talk spoilers. I can't wait.
Yes, I know.
I'm like holding myself back.
I need to know what the creepy thing is in the woods.
I know. I'm just excited because we already have an ebook of it, Claire.
It appears to be a dead best friend. That's not spoilery.
Okay.
It appears to be a dead best friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. I know. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, I already said this. That's the end. That's the end of this episode. Everyone, make sure you pre-order Lovely, Dark, and Deep, and then, tell somebody about it so you can get treasures in the mail.
Tell me about it.
But also tell everyone else, too. And
and tell them
to go and do it, too.
Tell at least 6 people, one of which must be Lisa.
Yes. Definitely.
You need to tell her.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's the end. I'm Amanda.
I'm Claire, I think, anyways.
And I'm Elisa, as far as I know. Thanks for having me.
Oh, make sure you join us next time for our regularly scheduled episode out
Oh,
on Wednesday. Look for our Would You Rather polls on social media. Don't forget about our book club on Discord. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
pre-ordered
Woo!
and then send your receipt to
Pre-ordered.
the author.
Yes. And get treasures in the mail.